14 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers I look to sell and trade this week. The first guy, Jaron Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. So he qualifies at powered forward and center in fantasy basketball. And on the season here, it's been a nice bounce back year after he missed most of last season. 16.1 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1 steal, 1.7 threes, and 41% from the field here. So those are pretty good numbers. But over the last couple weeks here, his ranking's gone up to 29 overall, is Jaron Jackson Jr. But he's still a player here that I think isn't 100% consistent, and you could even see it in his game logs. January 13th versus Minnesota, 20 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 5 blocks, 2 threes, 60% from the field. January 14th versus Dallas, 8 points, 8 rebounds, a steal, a block, 28% from the field. And January 17th versus the Bulls, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, a 3, and 54% from the field. So no doubt about it, he's an elite shot blocker, is Jaron Jackson. But in terms of scoring the basketball and rebounding, it's not the greatest. It's still solid, but his field goal isn't that good. And he's just giving you really 3 categories, with obviously blocking shots being his main thing. So right now, if you want more scoring or more well-rounded player with categories and stuff and willing to give up blocks, I think this is a perfect time to trade and sell Jaron Jackson, since his blocks are up and he's playing good basketball, especially ranked number 24 over the last few weeks here. And I think you could get a decent guy for him in a one-for-one deal. The next center I look to trade and sell this week's Jusuf Nurkic of the Portland Trailblazers. I know Damian Lillard's out for a while, and they're going to need guys to step up and put up numbers. So Nurkic, over the last few weeks, his numbers have definitely bumped up. But on the season here for him, 13.9 points a game, 10.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.2 steals, and 53% from the field. But the last couple weeks here for Nurkic, 15.7 points a game, 13.3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 45% from the field. So right here, he's been playing good basketball. And just off his game alone on January 17th at Orlando is a great selling point. January 13th at Denver, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, a block, 44% from the field. January 15th at Washington, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 60% from the field. And then the 17th, like I mentioned, at Orlando, 21 points, 22 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, and 47% from the field. So right here, after that huge 2020 double-double, I would definitely put him on my trade block and see what I could get for him, because we know over the last few years he's been a banged-up player and not been 100%. And he's reached his peak right now in value, especially with a 2020 game. So right now, Jusuf Nurkic, I definitely look to sell him and trade him this week. And the third and final center I look to sell and trade this week is Jakob Poeltl of the San Antonio Spurs. So Poeltl, it's been a pretty decent season for him. But also another guy coming off a couple huge games here is where I would sell him, because he's been inconsistent as well on the season. On the season, 12.4 points a game, 9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.5 blocks, and 59% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, numbers, they've gone up just a little bit here. 12 points a game, 10.6 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.3 steals, 2 blocks, and 56% from the field here for Poeltl. But like I mentioned, he's coming off that huge 23 and 14 rebound game on January 17th. And right there is a good selling point, I think, for the Poeltl owner. So the last few games for him, January 12th versus Houston, 13.6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 80% from the field. January 14th versus Cleveland, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. And then the 17th, like I mentioned, 23 points, 14 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 75% from the field here. So right now, after a big game like that and a great field goal percentage, he's definitely a center I look to sell high and trade this week. So that's a few centers I look to sell and trade this week here. Most of these guys, you got to get good value for them. I'm not just going to trade them to trade them, but right now where they're at peak value, and I don't think they're going to play above the numbers they've been putting up, this is a good time to trade them and sell them here in Week 14.